Do we really need a military intervention in Niger at this time? There's a lot going on, and I must tell you, there is a lot going on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel once again. We're talking about Niger today. Um, for the past couple of days now, you know that there's been a lot in terms of um, politicking and politics in general in Niger. There was an overthrow, happened in Niger. Um, July 27th, to be precise, the presidential guard in Niger, um, they ousted a civilian government, you know, and, sort of enthroned themselves. So right now, the the Nigerian military is in charge of Niger. Um, ECOWAS, came on and started talking about some things that they're going to do. Sanctions basically. Um, they gave the Nigerian government, in quote, 7 days ultimatum, and said military intervention cannot be rolled out of the process. So what actually baffles me at this time is the fact that the civilians actually support the military guys in Niger. The Nigerian citizens support their guys, you know. So right now, that's what's happening. Now, my own take is, if the Nigerian they support their own, why do we have to waste resources? Why do we have to go into Niger? We really don't need to go into Niger at this time. I think one of the mistakes we made was we didn't explore, the channel of diplomacy, and that should have been, the first thing that they should have, um, you know, con- taken into account. They just went out with, series of sanctions. I'm talking about ECOWAS now, series of sanctions, and then they give them ultimatum, and it said the military intervention will not be taken off the table, and they're not going to tell them when, they'll strike. Now, the interesting twist to this now is that you have Burkina Faso, you have Mali, they're sort of supporting the takeover in Niger, and they're saying if ECOWAS intervenes militarily in Niger, they would see it as an act of war. So they're sort of supporting the Nigerian people. So you have Burkina Faso, which also has a military government in place. You have Mali, also a military government in place. I know that Guinea is also involved in the whole process. So right now, Nigeria is facing a lot because we have a court case going on right now in, talking about the presidential election petition court of tribunal, if you will, going on. The president of the country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is being challenged in court, by some parties, the likes of PDP, Atiku, Labour Party, Peter Obi. Uh, there's one other strong contender right now. All of them are sort of, wanting, they want the courts to nullify the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu this time. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is really facing a lot. Now, something came up again. The international community, Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not really have so much backing. In fact, many of these governments around Africa, they regard Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government as an illegitimate government. I don't know what African Union is going to come up with. I don't think we need military intervention. We have not even been able to sort Boko Haram want to leave our shores and go to Niger. Niger, I think one of the issues Niger is contending with now, they got their independence in 1960. Niger is a former French colony. So, France is in the picture. They sort of want total independence, from France. France did all those countries under France. All those countries, they are not totally independent. You can imagine, the likes of Cameroon, all these French countries, former French colonies. Right now, they take a lot of money, and then imagine having your central bank sending their money to France for keep. Like France is more like the central bank. They have the central bank to central banks. So all these countries that were former colonies, they'll send monies back to France for keep. So I think one of the things that the Nigerians are saying now, no more France influence, on Niger. So right now we know that the Nigerians are going out, they're burning French flag. The embassy was burnt. They just don't want anything to do with France anymore. And I understand, that Niger has got a lot of uranium. So they export a lot of uranium, to France. That's one of the ways they get to make money. I think they've stopped that now. They're trying to look for, other options. So basically, I guess this former colonies, they want to take themselves off the shackles of France. I do not think we need military intervention in Niger at this time. Sometimes you allow people to work things out. And the other twist to everything is if you don't have good governance, especially from our civilian governments, things like this would happen. The US has got an Air Force base also in Niger. In fact, they have this drone base also. US spent about $100 million, in Niger, just to have this base. They also have this big drone base in Niger, where they can actually send out drones and keep tab on them. So it's happening at the moment. Right now, Nigeria has cut electricity supply to Niger, and I think that's one of the things they want to do. No flying within the airspace, and not just Nigeria, ECOWAS generally, and ECOWAS has got about 15 countries, under its belt. I mentioned Burkina Faso, mentioned Guinea, mentioned Mali, and they have military heads of government right now. I don't know how things are going to pan out, but I'm going to continue to watch events as they unfold. So that's the situation right now in Niger. I don't think we need military intervention right now. I think we should still try to talk. Let's sort of have a discussion at the table. I understand that after coming out with all sorts of sanctions, um, Absalam Abubakar and then the Sultan of Sokoto were told to go and talk to the Nigerian government. They didn't give them any they didn't allow them to even land, in quotes, like that. So they didn't give them any audience. They didn't. I think the Nigerian government, I think ECOWAS should think all this through very well. Niger is a big ally, of the United States also. I think Russia is also trying to move into Niger in a way. Anyway, at the moment, Russia has a lot of all this quote jobs. You can call them dirty jobs for Russia. There's this particular mercenary group, the Russian mercenary group called Wagner, headed by Yevgeny Prigozhin. So it's sort of supporting, what's going on. And what it's saying basically is that what is going on is the fight against suppression. All those former colonists, they want to get off the shackles, of their masters. In quote, they want to get off, the shackles of France, basically. Like I said, I don't think that we should intervene. We have a lot on our plate, even in our country. Even though we're a power block within the ECOWAS, we make a lot of contribution, to ECOWAS. Presently, the chairman of ECOWAS is from Nigeria. That's the president right now. But everything needs to be put into consideration. If you don't have full support, full backing of the international community, then it's going to be a big problem. Sometimes you may need to allow people to work things out internally. Right now, the Nigerian people are in support of this takeover, by the military. Yes, you need to go online to see, all that is happening right now. All right. So if you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you've not. Like the video, you can also share and turn on the bell icon, the notification bell icon, so that you can be notified anytime I upload a video. So until I come your way again, it's bye for now.